Hey guys, this is Unit 3, Lesson 7 on Sprites. We are in the Animation and Games unit. We've got lots of computer science standards, so let's go over them very quickly. Create clearly named variables that represent different data types and perform operations on their values. Decompose problems and subproblems into parts to facilitate the design, implementation, and review of programs. Incorporate existing code, media, and libraries into original programs and give attribution. Systematically test and refine programs using a range of test cases. And finally, document programs in order to make them easier to follow, test, and debug. The essential question for this lesson is, how can we use sprites to help us keep track of lots of information in our programs? This entire lesson is on code.org, so make sure you are signed in with your Google account. Your grade for this lesson is going to be based on your programming, so make sure you are paying close attention to this video and doing a good job. Watching this video that you're watching right now is mandatory, and you will watch this as you work your way through the lesson on code.org. The best practice is to watch me do a step on the video, pause the video, and then complete that step on code.org. Repeat until finish. So you'll click here to go to code.org or type it in up there, whatever. I'm already there on my dashboard. Let's go into the Unit 3. So we have already completed Lesson 1, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We are now on Lesson 7, which is on sprites. So let's jump in. Bubble 1 is just an overview. We've got some vocab words. Dot notation is the way that sprites properties are used in GameLab by connecting the sprite and property with a dot. A property is a label for a characteristic of a sprite, such as its location and its appearance. Kind of like using parameters on a shape, right? A sprite itself is a character on the screen with properties that describe its location, movement, and look. So like if you're playing a 2D Mario game, Mario is a sprite. The Goombas that he jumps on are sprites. The little Koopas, the little turtles that he jumps on or spits fireballs at or whatever, those are sprites too. So basically in a video game or an animation, a character in the game, either a playable character or non-playable character, either way, those are sprites. The new code we're learning draw sprites and the variable sprite and create sprite blocks. Let's continue. We're on Bubble 2. And Bubble 2 says exploring sprites. This program uses some new blocks that you haven't seen before. Do this. With your partner, read the code and discuss how you think it works. Change some lines and see what happens. What do you think each line is doing? Let's see. So obviously we're not working with partners, so let's read the code and take a look at it. So the first thing up here is variable is being established, fruit. So the label for this variable is fruit. And what this variable is doing is it's creating a sprite. Okay, and it's telling it wants it to be located at 100, 200. Now, it's being set up right here. So fruit.setAnimation, and it's being set to be the apple. And then there's another variable right here for vegetable, create sprite at 300, 200, X and Y. And then vegetable.setAnimation is carrot. So the fruit animation or the fruit sprite is going to be an apple. The vegetable sprite is going to be a carrot. And then this right here will draw the sprites on the display area. So we've got an apple at 100, 200 and a carrot at 300, 200. Let's finish. We're on to the next bubble, which is a video bubble.
If you want to animate a single shape in GameLab, you can quickly end up with a lot of variables to manage. You'll need one to store the shape's X position, one to store the Y position, one for width, one for height, and as you add fills, strokes, and other characteristics, you'll need even more variables. If you want to animate additional shapes, you'll need to create a whole other set of variables. All this can quickly lead to problems with organization and clarity in your code. So what's an elegant and manageable way to keep track of all these variables? The solution is to start animating with sprites. Think of a sprite like a character that lives inside your animations. At first, a sprite will pretty much just be a rectangle. But the beauty of a sprite is what it has going on behind the scenes. When you make a sprite, it comes with properties, which are variables that store the characteristics of a sprite. Properties describe things like where the sprite's located on the screen, what it looks like, and what color it is. To create a new sprite, use the create sprite command. You can assign your sprite a label just like you would a variable. This code is creating a new sprite and giving it the label my sprite, but you can label it anything you'd like. Just like shapes, sprites need to be drawn to the screen. Use the draw sprites command to see your sprite appear in the display area. You can control a sprite's properties in your program by using dot notation. First, connect the label of the sprite to the label of the property with a dot. Now you can use this just like a variable. So for example, mysprite.x gets 200 will update the sprite's x location to 200. And mysprite.width gets 50 will update the sprite's width to 50. The next time you call draw sprites, these new property values will be used to draw the sprite. Sprites can have tons of properties. As you get familiar with them, they'll give you powerful controls over what your sprites look like and can do.
All right, let's move on. Moving on to bubble 4. Awesome. Okay, sprites. Creating sprites. The variable sprite gets create sprite block, creates a new sprite, and assigns it to a variable. The default name is sprite, so you'll want to change it to something more meaningful. Like if your sprite is going to be a carrot, for instance, then name your variable a carrot, right? Drawing sprites. Sprites only appear on the screen when you draw them there. Calling draw sprites will draw all of your created sprites on the screen. This is incredibly important. I'm going to repeat that one more time. Calling draw sprites will draw all of your created sprites on the screen. You'll see what I mean. Do this, it says. This program includes comments that let you know where to place the code, but otherwise it's blank. Your program should look like the image on the right. So this right here is just a display area with a gray square in it. Add variable equals create sprite 200 under the comment creating sprites. Okay, so let's go to the sprites drawer in the toolbox. And we'll add this to line 2. So variable sprite gets create sprite 200, 200x, 200y. Add draw sprites under the comment drawing. So let's go to the world drawer, grab draw sprites, drag it out onto line 5. We run it, and it gets exactly what it wanted from the display area. And it says a hint here. Sprites are drawn from their center, which means that the center of the square, not the top left corner like with a shape, is at 200, 200. So let's turn on the grid and check that. So yeah, 200, 200 is the center of the sprite. So that's something to remember. Remember that when you're drawing a shape on the screen and it is a square or a rectangle, right, using the rectangle block, then it starts putting it there from the top left corner. But in the case of a sprite, it puts it there at the center. All right, bubble 5. Debug. This program should create 2 new sprites one on the left of the screen and one on the right, but it's only drawing one. You don't need to add any code. Just rearrange the code already present to make sure that both sprites show up like the picture on the right. And over here, we've got one square and two squares. So we've got a left sprite and a right sprite. Now the problem here is when I run this, it's only drawing the one on the left. And the reason why is because the computer is reading this sequentially, right? You're giving it a command. So you're telling it, okay, create the left sprite, then draw it, and create a right sprite. So what do you think is the problem here? Why is it not drawing the right sprite? Because you've created it without telling the computer to draw it. Now, if we move draw sprites down to line 3, we've created both sprites and we've told the computer to draw both of those sprites. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying, man? All right, finish, continue. We're on to bubble 6. Adding animations. This program draws 4 sprites to the screen, and one of them has an animation from the animation tab. Do this. Run the code to see what happens. Okay. All right, so we've got a little pink alien. We've got 3 squares up here. Look in the animation tab to see what animations are available to you. The animation tab is up here. For some reason, the show me where isn't working right. Feel free to alter your animations or choose a new one. Use the set animation command to change the look of your other sprites. Okay, so as of right now, we've got 4 create sprite blocks and 1 set animation block. So the alien is being drawn and this bottom right sprite, right, is tied there. So what we need to do is we'll head over to the animation tab, and this is where you can draw stuff, you can import stuff, you can do all kinds of neat things here, and we'll get to that. But for now, we've got an alien, a bunny, a flybot, and a plain red 1. So let's go back to the code tab, and you can toggle between these, right? And we need to add 3 more sprite.set animations. And to make it quick, because we're computer scientists in here and we know what we're doing, we're going to Control-C, Control-V, each of these in here. So we've got the top left, top right, Control-C, Control-V, and we need the bottom. What else do we need? We've got bottom right, we've got top left, and top right, we need bottom left. So Control-C, Control-V, right? And then the X and Y locations are already set. We don't need to change that. Now we just need to tie these to their variables. So top left sprite, let's make that we've already got an alien, so let's make that the bunny. Top right, we'll make the flybot, and then bottom left, we'll make the plain red 1. Now draw sprites is down here at the bottom where it should be. Let's run it, and it draws everything. Now, if I move this up here, what happens? Dang, it messed up. If I put it here, it'll draw 2 of them, right? Because it's under 2 of them. 3, and then all 4 show up if the draw sprites is at the bottom. So basically, for your code, draw your sprites last. Finish, continue. Bubble 7 is a video bubble.
Hi, I'm Aston Motes, and I was the first software engineer hired at Dropbox. I also work with an organization called DevColor. DevColor is a nonprofit that advances the careers of Black software engineers. Sprites make it much easier to organize your code, but visually, they're still just rectangles. To make our creations come to life, we'll want to add images to our sprites. We'll start with a simple program you've seen before that creates a single rectangular sprite. Before we can turn this rectangle into something more fun, we need to tell GameLab about the image we want to use. All images and drawings you add to your project are created and managed in the Animation tab. To switch back and forth between your code and the animations, use a toggle in the upper left corner. To add a new animation, click the plus sign. This will open a library of images that are already built into GameLab. From the library, you can browse the categories to find what you're looking for. Once you've selected an image, it'll be added to your project and shown on the left. If you like, you can also change the name of your image. So here we've added an image in the Animation tab, and we have code that creates a basic sprite. Now we'll need to put those two together and tell the computer that we want this particular sprite. We'll use the set animation block to do this. First, we'll use the name of our sprite and the name of the image we selected in the Animation tab. Now when we run our program, the sprite will be drawn with the image we selected. All of a sprite's properties can still be modified as usual to do things like moving across the screen. You're not limited to the images that come built into GameLab. You can also choose to upload an image from your computer or draw something yourself. In fact, you can edit any image in the Animation tab using the pixel editor. Using the different commands in the pixel editor, you can easily draw, erase, or modify images. To adjust the dimensions of an image, just make changes in the menu on the right side. It's also just one click to flip your image to face the opposite direction. If you like an image you've made but want to make some changes, just make a copy. There are lots of helpful little tools in the pixel editor. Play around with them on your own and see what they do. Back in your code, the drop-down of animations makes it easy to pick which animation your sprite should use until you find the perfect look. Adding images or your own drawings to sprites lets you unleash your creativity and make your programs really your own. Let's get to it.
All right, let's move on to the next bubble. Bubble 8. All right, it says this program draws 3 sprites to the screen, but it's not working yet. The wrong sprite is in front, and one sprite's animation isn't showing up. Do this. Run the code to see what happens. Excuse me. Run the code to see what happens. Okay, so that's not looking very much like our image over here. We've got the ice cream in the front, and it's supposed to be in the back. And then a gray square showing up instead of the soda can. So let's fix the 2 problems in the code. All right. So our computer is reading this in order. Important to remember. So the first thing it's drawing is the message. It needs to draw the message last. So reset run. Okay. Now what's the problem? So drink, set to soda, dessert, drink, ice cream. Okay. So 2 different set animations are trying to read off of the drink variable. So this needs to be dessert. And there we go. It's fixed-a-mundo. All right. So, and it gives you that hint, right? Just like shapes, sprites are drawn in the order they're created because your computer reads this in order. Just like you read top down, the computer reads top down. So let's finish and continue. All right, bubble 9. We've got match the code to the image that it will produce. So let's knock this out. We'll go down this way. So this one, background sky blue. So it's going to draw the dog, but not the elk. So here, Background sky blue, draw sprites is way up here, so it's not going to draw any of this stuff. On this one, draw sprites is happening after the dog variable for create sprite, but it didn't set the animation to the corgi yet, so that's just going to be the square. And then background sky blue, everything's in the correct order. Draw sprites at the end. Boom. Let's submit and see what happens. Oh, yeah, that's the correct answer. Okay, we've got some activities to do here. We're going to do A, B, C, and D. If you want to do E and F, by all means, please do so. The practice will help you out. But for the purposes of this video, we're just doing A, B, C, and D. So let's go ahead and get started with A. Looking at the code below, we can see that many sprites are created, and yet when we run the program, nothing shows up. Can you fix it? Run, and they're right. Nothing shows up. So what's missing here? The draw sprites block is missing. Let's run it. Now we have everything. That draw sprites block is crucial to your success. Let's finish. Let's start on B. Sprite animations. Fix the names of the animations so that the errors go away. We can do this. All right, fixing the name. So debug, sprites, animation error. Errors are being hit whenever we try to run our program. It looks like something is wrong with our animations. Can you try and fix it? Sure. Okay, so looks like our variables match. We've got a little error here. Grass2 hasn't been declared yet. Okay, let's check our animation tab. We got Ladybug, Tyrannosaurus, Sun, Grass1, Grass2, and Grass4. Oh, I see. On this one, for Grass2, it doesn't have the quotation marks around it. That's important. Attention to detail. All right, let's run it. Oh, we've got an error on line 7. Unable to find an animation named Tyrannosaurus. Please make sure the animation exists. Well, we saw it over here. Tyrannosaurus. Oh, they forgot an N. It's spelled wrong. So Tyrannosaurus, run. We've got an error on line 9 now. Unable to find an animation named Sun. Okay. Because it's capitalized. All right, run. Another error. Goodness gracious. Unable to find an animation named Grass3. Please make sure the animation exists. And we checked, and that animation doesn't exist. It's Grass4. There we go. Everything's showing up now. No errors to speak of. We're brilliant. All right, let's do C. Fix the sprite name so that all 3 cherries appear. Okay. So debug sprite name. The program below is trying to draw the same sprite in 3 different positions, but only one of them is showing up. What's happening here, and can you fix it? Let's run it. Oh, yeah, so 1 cherry shows up. The other 2 are gray squares. Let's fix that. So, oh, I see. So this is a classic problem in creating sprites. Even though these sprites are all the same image, they need to be set up individually. So we need a sprite 1, a sprite 2, and a sprite 3. You could also do cherry 1, cherry 2, cherry 3. And then we need to tie these set animations to their variable. So 1, 2, 3 on these. And that should fix it. And it does. Very good. Finish. Continue. Sprite order, D. Debug the sprite order. Let's see. Okay. Something is wrong with the scene below. Some sprites are behind other sprites when they should be in front of them. Can you fix it? So it should look like this, with the snail in front of the cactus, a ladybug in front of the bush. Okay. When I run it, they're behind those, so we can tell it to draw in a different order. So our cactus and the grass, snail, ladybug. So let's do it this way. Let's put the cactus up here. Or actually, I wonder if I pull these down, will that do it? Yes. Okay. Cool. That's all you needed to do was just put, let's Control Z. Well, right. So all I did was I grabbed the line 1 variable snail, pulled it down here, put it on line 5, and then the ladybug variable, pulled it down here and put that on line 5. So that moves those down, and it runs correctly with the snail in front of the cactus and the ladybug in front of the bushes or the grass, whatever you want to call it. Okay, that's those. And once again, if you want to do E and F, you can by all means do so. Let's go to bubble 11. Create your own sprites. Use what you've learned to create your own sprites. Oh man, you guys, I am not an artist by any means whatsoever, especially not when I'm trying to draw on a computer with a mouse. Okay, the example is just one way to complete the level. Decide for yourself what you want your sprites to look like. Do this. Go to the animation tab and add at least 2 animations to your project. Okay, so animation tab, we're going to click on this plus new animation, and you've got all kinds of categories: backgrounds, characters, environment, and every one of these has tons of stuff in it. So like characters, lots and lots of characters to choose from. Animals, lots and lots of animals to choose from. Food, you get it. You get the idea. There's all kinds of stuff. So I am going to put some aliens on the screen. So let's do a green alien, and let's do a pink alien. All right, 2 animations, it said. In the code tab, create at least 2 sprites in 2 different places on the screen. Okay, so let's go to the sprites drawer. We need to grab variables, create sprite, variable create sprite, variable set animation, variable set animation. So we're going to have green alien. Let's put him at 100x. And then pink alien at 300x. That way they're on 2 different sides of the display area, both at 200y. And then I need to tie the variables to the set animation. So Control C, Control V, Control C, Control V, make it easy. And I've created these. So that's the green alien and set animation to the pink alien. And then I need to draw the sprites on the screen, run it, voila, they appear. Remembering if I don't have that up there, they don't appear at all. You gotta have draw sprites over here. I could have done something cool like a crab holding a fork and a knife, but you know, in the interest of time, right? And then you don't have to do what I did. I'm just giving you examples of what to do. So get creative. Create your own sprites. Do your own thing. Have fun. Finish. We're on bubble 12, and we've got 3 challenges. I'm going to do 2 with you. You can do combine ideas on your own if you want. Find an image on the line. This is a very, very, very important lesson to learn, so everyone please pay very close attention here. Okay. Uploading images. You can also use the animation tab to upload. You're going to want to do that, so pay close attention. You are going to make a flying kite. You can search the web for an image. Do this, it says. Search online for an image of a kite. Small images with transparent backgrounds work best, and I'm going to show you how to do that. And then download the kite image, open the animations tab, upload it, do the thing. Okay, so let's open up a new tab. This is just Google. So I'm going to type in kite. And then I'm going to go to tools. Whoops, I'm going to go to images first. So kite, images, tools. I want all of the images that I add to be transparent. That way they don't have some like weird, bad looking background going on and messing up my animation, messing up my game. I want it to be transparent. So let's walk through this again. Right? Kite, images, tools, color, transparent. Now, if I choose a random image and it's too big, it won't take it because the file size is too much. The file size is too much, man. Let's find a kite we want to use. There's a basic one that I've used before that works really well. You know what? I think it might be one of these. Where is it? Let's try this guy. So I'm going to right click on this, save image as. If you're on a Chromebook, this will work a little differently. I'm on a PC. I'm going to save it to my pictures folder. It's going to save as kite.png. Save. It'll show my download down here. If you're on a Chromebook, again, this process will be a little bit different. And I go back to code.org because it's saved on my computer. If you've got it saved in your downloads folder or you chose a file to put it in on your Chromebook, right? Either way, right? You're right-clicking on your Chromebook. If you're not using a wireless mouse or wired mouse, then that's a two-fingered tap to get this menu to come up. Animation. Let's add the animation. We're going to upload an image. We're going to click on the kite, open. There it is. Kite.png. Now I can change the name of my sprite to just kite if I want to, right? Go back to code. So now it says rename your image so it's easy to remember. We did that. Back in code mode, use sprite.setAnimation. So sprites drawer, sprite.setAnimation. Match the variable, kite to kite. It's the kite. And we'll run it. And it's way, 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 way too big, right? So let's fix that. It says, don't worry if your kite image is too big. You'll learn how to fix that in the next level, but let's fix it now. So sprite.scale, we're going to put it right there, match the variable. So it's kite.gets create sprite, kite.setAnimation is the kite, and kite.scale gets, and we're going to say 0.2, make it smaller. And then I want my line to match up with where my kite is located. And I actually want my kite on the whole screen. So I'm going to bring it down a little bit. Let's do Y like 75. See where that puts my kite. Yeah, so now it's all on there. And I want my string to be right here though. So down here on line 17, I have the line code that's creating that line. Remembering that the first X and Y are telling the line where to start. The second X and Y are telling it where to end. And I want it to end at 290.109. And I figured that out by taking my mouse, putting the pointer right there where at the bottom of the kite, and then seeing what the X and Y were down here. So reset run. And that moves the end of the line to where I want it to be. And I don't like the weight of that line. It seems a little too thick for a kite line. So let's make that like a 1. There we go. Let's try a 2. See what that looks like. Cool. I like that even better. Very good. All right. So again, if you're doing this on your Chromebook, this process is a little bit different, right? So when you go in to upload an image and you are grabbing it from your files, your file folder looks a little bit different. Same idea, looks a little different. And it's okay. Let's finish. Continue. We're on draw your own character. And here's where you get to find out that Mr. Decker is not an artist when it comes to drawing on a computer. Okay. Drawing your own image. You can also use the animation tab to draw your own image. You are going to make your own character by drawing it. I'm not excited about this because I am not good at drawing. Do this. Open the animations tab, click plus, and then the pencil to draw your own picture to use as a sprite. So as of right now, we've got this, right? Now, new animation, draw your own. Let's do that again. Animation, new animation, draw your own. That gets you to this. And I'm going to throw that one away. And then you can duplicate as well, right? But we don't need to do that right now. These are all things you'll want to know later on. So, okay, let's draw me. Okay, so apparently I've got a oblong head. Okay, now let's make the pencil smaller. Draw some eyes. Pupils. All right. And then my eyes are like let's grab the paint bucket tool. My eyes are like a weirdish bluish green. So let's boop and boop. There we go. Back to the pencil, back to drawing black. And yeah, happy Mr. Decker. There's my nose. Sure. Okay. Now let's see. He needs some hair, hey? So pen tool, make it a little thicker. I've got the red hair, kind of orangey. All right. Good stuff. All right, looks just like me. Okay, now I need some skin tone, right? So paint bucket down here. What is my skin tone? I'm pretty pale. Yeah, sure. Let's give me some freckles. Back to the pen tool, little dots. Because I've got the freckles, y'all. My freckles are like, I'm looking at my arm right now. Kind of, Sure. Freckles. All right. And then let's draw really quickly the rest of me. Oop. Oh, nope. Control Z to get rid of that. That's a good lesson. Control Z is your undo button. All right. So we need, and it saves your colors for you. That's awesome. Make a little neck, pen tool. Boop. Boop. And here, like a t-shirt. Yeah, cool. One of my shoulders is way broader than the other one, of course. All right, and then some pants. Some shoes. Obviously, I'm a good artist. Yeah, that's a hand. Yep. Okay. Yeah, there's the other hand. We're doing really good. Okay. Now, paint bucket tool. My neck is approximately the same color as my face, I guess. And then let's grab some colors for the clothes. We'll do like a purple shirt. We'll do some like bright blue shoes and some dark blue pants. Yeah, yes, yeah, looks just like me. Beautiful. All right, we'll name this Mr. Decker using camel case. Camel case, remember the camel? We got it. We're good. Okay. So now let's set the animation. So Mr. Decker, setting the animation. There he is. He's just a little bitty guy. He's so cute. Well, I don't know about cute, but we'll go with that, sure. Okay, finish. Continue. And that's it for this lesson, guys. I hope you had a good time. I know I did. And I'll see you again very soon.